guess this can be a day in the life of a Ducati 848 owner. It's a tough life, but somebody's got to do it. What's going on here then? We're certainly skipping all this. The only way is fish. You know you're in Essex when that's the title of a fish and chip shop. For anyone curious, we are heading kind of Rittlish way. But what does the day in the life of a 848 owner involve? It involves filling up petrol quite often. It involves some uncomfortableness and pressure on the neck, wrists and legs, but it also involves the beauty of what you could argue is one of the best looking bikes of the time. You know, 13 years old, no, 14 years old, excuse me, and it still looks as if it could compete with the aesthetics of bikes today. So I'm going to shut up as we start to get into some of these twisties. Hopefully you enjoy the sound and the ride. Wet roads, not what we'd like. Wet roads and new paint isn't that a recipe for disaster? just reflected. Tell you what, it takes a little while to warm up. When you've not been on the bike for a little bit, especially your own bike, and let's say you've test ridden different ones, it does take a little bit of time to sort of get back up to speed with being comfortable in it. I'm not saying hours or whatever, but it still takes, I think, a sort of yeah, kind of 10-15 minutes to start feeling, or maybe even longer than 20-30 minutes to start feeling comfortable again. And just to let people know, in case they're wondering, do you always ride like that? Not that it's Valentino, but you know, kind of one of my golden rules is I only ever really go quick down roads I know and I'm comfortable with. So I've gone through that road a hell of a lot of times. I wouldn't dare ride like that somewhere I don't know, because I feel like that's when you add an extra level of risk that is just unnecessary. Now if you're, you know, super comfortable on the bike, whatever, you know its limits, like you're just a really, really good rider, then it might not impact you as much. But for me, I don't like going quick down roads I don't like, or don't know, sorry, or even don't like. Yeah, same concept applies really. Everyone likes a little rev. You spent either filling up or moaning about being uncomfortable. Nah, I'm joking. I mean, I love this bike. Hopefully I'm reflecting it in the way, I may not be reflecting it, but I do genuinely love this bike. It was my dream bike when I was little. I used to see it in magazines, but it's just that the need has slightly evolved. Like I said, I would just like something that's a bit more that has higher utility. But it's, I just don't know if I want to sell this and trade something and, you know, buy something else, or if I should keep this, wait longer until I can afford another bike, which might be a while, and then yeah, decisions guys. Right, some boring city riding now, which in levers is highly unpleasant. A couple of people have asked me about my phone holder as well, by the way. It's kind of like a two-fold thing. I don't know if you can see it, but it sort of locks around this super tight, and then it's got a little bubble, kind of a grip thing that you insert the actual clip in, and I've not had any problems. It's super firm, super good. So if anyone needs it, I'm happy to kind of put the link in there on the comments or something, and I don't get paid for it, no, in case anyone's wondering. Right, let me go fill up and we'll report shortly. Do you know what? One of the things I've forgotten as well is the heat coming off from the exhaust, specifically on the right side. And whew, levers, man. For those of you that wear full levers, we know it's tough work. It is, because you're adding, I mean, how much levers weigh what? 5-10 kilos? Between, it's got to be 5 kilos, I think. And you have to add, when you're going slow like this, oh goodness, an extra, I don't know, like freaking 10 degrees onto the normal temperature. So if it's 30 outside, you're at least adding 10 degrees and making it 40 in here. It's a little sweat box. So for those of you that ride in the rain, because I don't really do it much, to be honest, it sort of takes away a bit of the fun. But obviously if someone uses their bike for work all the times, it would be I'd be interested to know, what do you do differently when you ride in the rain? So from my perspective, as far as I've heard and seen, you're just supposed to be a bit extra cautious, and your throttling, your braking and your clutching, I guess, needs to be smoother than you would as if you were riding in the dry. So yeah, I'd be interested to find out what kind of there's everyday riders, what you do differently. Slightly distracted there. Yeah, it doesn't help that this bike doesn't have any rider aids, I suppose. It makes me feel a little bit less secure when it comes to riding in adverse weather. But yeah, I'm interested to see if anyone has any tips or tricks of how you should conduct yourself on a bike when it's raining or a little bit wet. I suppose it changes too, right, in terms of, is it torrential pour? I assume you pull over and wait for it to blow over. If it's a bit of rain and the roads are wet, I guess it impacts you less. But yeah, it's always interesting. Do you know what, I can't imagine going to a track day and it's pouring and you've already paid all your money, you have to go through the day. Oh god, like you'd just be inviting slips left, right and centre. I did Silverstone once a couple of years ago. Absolute blast. Anyone who's not been on a track before, you don't need to go there with a sports bike. You can go with any bike, and it's just about, if anyone's not done it before and is unsure and thinks, you know, they're going to look out of place, don't worry, literally everyone's been there. I was there, like, had to ask people to help me get the bike out of my van because I didn't want to ride there and then ride back. You know, there's obviously people that take it very seriously when they go there. They've got the whole setup, they've got the van with all the tools, they've got spare tyres, they've got all the fuel purchased, and you can tell, you know, they kind of spend every other weekend there. And then you've got the total opposite on the spectrum, which is people like me who just want to know what that ride on the track feels like, and sort of unleash the bike in a safe environment. And it was a great day, great fun. Obviously it was in a novice group, and there's nothing quite like knowing, you know, that you can go around a corner and there's not going to be any trucks or tractors on the other side that you should be wary of. But I nearly ate shit. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because at first, my first session, I spent my focus of that session, I think there was 5 or 6 20-minute sessions, I sort of spent it basically trying to go fast, not knowing how to go fast. And if I was to give one tip to people, is don't focus on attacking every single corner and trying to go as fast as you can everywhere. Focus on one bit, wherever that's late braking. For me, it was body positioning in the later sessions, trying to move on the bike. Yeah, I'd say that's sort of your main, because the speed comes later, right? Once you nail those aspects, then the speed naturally comes. But yeah, it was 2 corners that tricked me up on 2 consecutive laps, and I almost ended up on the gravel. Thank God I didn't. One person on my session did, actually. Wasn't ideal. Imagine if you didn't get insurance either. That's your bike wrecked. I hope that gives you a bit of a sort of day in the life of an owner of this wonderful red machine. And yeah, if you've got any questions on what it feels like to own this on a daily basis, just let me know. Adios amigos, like and subscribe, never forget.